Welcome to Chasing Brighter, the podcast created as a guide to make midlife the best life.
Are you ready to embrace the next chapter of your life with confidence and excitement?
Join us each week as we bring you inspiring stories, expert interviews, and actionable tips to help you navigate the challenges and opportunities of midlife.
Are you ready to chase brighter days ahead?
Subscribe to Chasing Brighter now, and let's embark on this exciting journey together.
Remember, your best life is just a listen away.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Today, we're going to be talking a lot about creating your vision for the year and thinking about intentional adventures. So, what does it mean to live life fully? For some, it's about climbing mountains or planning dream vacations. For others, it's about noticing the beauty in everyday moments, like that first sip of coffee or a cozy Sunday afternoon.
Let's talk about how we can balance our big dreams this year with small joys. We want to really spend a lot of time setting our intentions that align with the life that we truly want. So that is the most important thing that we can do. And so we really want to start off the year, which is why I want to talk about it in this episode in terms of that, in terms of really setting your intentions that will align with your life and balancing these big dreams with small joys and small wins in a lot of ways. And Eleanor Roosevelt
Yeah.
says, happiness is not the goal, it is the byproduct of a well-lived life. And so that's what we want to talk about is how can we have a life well-lived?
I love that quote because I think people are, I just want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. And it's not just going to come to you. It's not an end, right? You've got to be taking action, right? You've got to be living life. And I think we talk so much midlife, we can be at a crossroads, right? We're reflecting on what we've achieved. We're looking at what lies ahead. So this is prime opportunity for you to really be thinking about how can I live intentionally? How can I reignite my purpose with joy and connection and really begin looking at what our values are and then taking action toward that?
When we talk about setting our intentions, we really want to make sure that the intentions we're setting align with our personal values. The first step in doing that is really defining what's important to you. What are things that you value? Thinking about value-driven living. You can ask yourself questions like, what do you want to feel and experience more in life?
I want to feel spontaneity. We were talking about in the Superwoman Diaries, it is difficult sometimes to feel that freedom when you have kids and a spouse that have different values than you.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they want to experience different things in
Yeah.
different times.
Like they're like calm and peace, and you're like adventure,
I'm like,
you know?
now. They're like, later.
Yeah.
And yeah, so a great example, Jess, is just thinking about freedom or thinking about creativity. Maybe it's connection with others, different types of things that you want to feel to experience more in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Identify those core values. And so sometimes that's thinking about what brings you the most fulfillment and energy. I think in the past, before I began this whole journey of self-discovery, so much of my values were about managing other people's feelings, right? Like, oh, my values are making sure my kids are happy and my husband's happy and my kids are healthy. And this is what is bringing me fulfillment, that I'm taking care of my friends and I'm helping in the classroom. So I don't think that's where we want to go, right? I think it's really tapping into you, not attached to someone else, and thinking about what will bring you fulfillment energy. I talk a lot, like for me, being with my close friends is really energizing.
Yeah. Yes.
Trying new restaurants is really energizing. Traveling new places is energizing. And so just thinking of what really sparks joy for you.
Yeah. And thinking about your values and how they are a guidepost for you. If connection is a value, Plan meaningful trips with loved ones that prioritize quality time over quantity. If you want to have adventure, and you don't have to have just one thing, you can have multiple kind of value driven
Values.
components of that. And so, how do you blend them together in a way that really helps you continue to get these maybe big adventures, but also thinking about those small joys?
We'll be right back. I think that Warrior Strong Wellness is really on the cutting edge of what is going to help us with our mind, our body, our gut. The collagen's great for gut, joint, bone
Mhm.
care.
I love the collagen bone broth. It's got protein in it and it's got collagen. It helps me feel good, especially when I'm not feeling so well. Plus the protein, which every woman is not eating enough protein. The other product that I absolutely love is the Pure Organic Ashwagandha Max supplement.
Hmm.
It provides adrenal support, it balances energy and mood, helps with nervous and immune health. Taking two of those in the morning really helps regulate my stress response and I sleep better.
So if you are interested or would like to know more about Warrior Strong Wellness products, check that out at warriorstrongwellness.com and use code Chasing Brighter for 10% off. And now back to the show. And then also, maybe you have that big trip with girlfriends because connection is important to you. You can also set micro intentions, right? Smaller weekly goals that align with your big picture, like I'm going to schedule a coffee date with my friend, right? I'm going to go for a walk with my friend on a weekly basis.
Yeah. If adventure is on your list and maybe you can't travel, even if you work from home, maybe you spend a day working from a new coffee shop. Maybe you spend a day, take yourself out to lunch. If this is sometimes things where we can do as individuals that can bring really small joys and help us feed the need in a lot of ways with the values that we have. And maybe know that there's a longer term goal of taking a big trip or something like that, but it just isn't happening in the moment.
And it's about balancing both, right? Aligning the big and the small joys with your values. So then you feel like you're living an authentic and fulfilling life.
Yes.
And now we want to shift to planning big adventures. You've looked at your core values. You've looked at what's important to you. You've identified what those values are. Now it's like dreaming, taking time to dream big. Make your bucket list, things that inspire you, excite you, and it creates anticipation and purpose.
I love that. I think we all have bucket lists. And I think the beginning of each year is a great time to reset and
Yeah.
realign. Our values change over the
Hmm.
years. Things that were important to us at one point maybe aren't so much anymore. And that bucket list may be an ever evolving item. Speaking of big dreams, do you know what bucket list item I checked off in 2024?
What?
I went to the Mall of America. And it was the
Oh,
first time I went, and I've always wanted to go.
yeah.
And it wasn't also that wasn't like a, "Oh my god, this is so wonderful." I was like, "This is
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad I did it." It wasn't that's the other thing too, is sometimes our bucket list items aren't these huge buildups to like this
Yeah.
watershed moment
Yeah.
of joy and happiness. But again, taking those moments to be grateful. With that, thinking about these bucket list items, plan your adventures, create a someday list. Ask yourself questions like, what's something that I've always wanted to do but haven't yet? And sit with that for a moment and think about what kind of thoughts are flowing into your head.
Yeah. And then set tangible goals. If you're, for example, if your trip is that you want to travel to Italy, right? That's a dream for you. Break it into steps, research flights, plan dates. That way you can get a budget together and know if you need to save, right? If you need to save for this item. And so for some things, it's about planning. You have to have a passport, you have to have a place to go if it's like a travel thing, but also make space for spontaneity. Sometimes it's just saying yes to opportunities that come up unexpectedly.
And make sure So you're planning these big adventures and at the same time, embrace small daily joys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Small moments matter. And the reason is because they are grounding and accessible, no matter what your circumstances are. And
Yeah.
you can find joy every day, right, Jess?
Yeah. I do want to go back to the big items for a second. What are your do you have like some big bucket list things? Do you feel like you're a dreamer?
Oh, I want to do everything all the time.
I, I know. I do too. Like, I want to have a cabin. I want to own a cabin somewhere. I do want to go snowshoeing. I want to go visit, I don't know, maybe like all the continents.
I think about all the places I would like to go. Like
Yeah.
we were talking about Canada previously in terms of a trip, but I'd love to go to Banff and Lake Louise. I
Hmm.
love to go to Whistler and Vancouver. Like there's definitely some destinations in Canada I would love to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have never been to Paris,
Yeah.
which is going to be my 50th birthday trip.
Yeah.
That is like what I plan it to be. But
Am I
um
invited? Get
maybe,
my budget
yeah,
together.
yes, we'll
Maybe.
see.
WTF. Oh, is it like a
I have
couples thing?
I
Oh,
have
you don't
no
know.
idea what
Oh,
it's gonna
okay.
shake out to be, but if
Okay.
you are available, yeah.
I'm available. I'll let you know. I'm penciling that in 2027. I
I
will
would love to
pencil that
scuba
in.
dive, just
Oh,
some other things that would be, but I don't
that freaks me
I think
out.
part of this too with a bucket list is there are things I would like to do, and then I think maybe the universe guides us a little bit too in terms of
Yeah.
opportunities for these adventures or that we that's where I think a lot of our discussion is, right? Is it's like, how do you create opportunities to
Mhm.
get to your big dreams
Yeah.
and keep those alive? And maybe some of those go away because the
And some,
opportunity is
yeah.
gonna
And I think
change.
there's like bucket list big. I know we're transitioning to like small joys, but even like Teresa was talking to me about we want to go to a spa. Like there are spas around here or everywhere, whatever, where you just pay like a fee where you're not actually getting a spa
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
treatment.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
hang
yeah.
around the spa all day.
Yes.
We also have in our Chinatown area like some almost like Turkish bath
Yeah.
places too. So those are things I'd like to do, which aren't, that's not like inaccessible, right? It's local, but like that takes planning and stuff. That's something we could do when you visit too, is we have a lot of high teas here. I'm sure I know every
Oh, that's
major
so
city
fun.
does. But we could do that too. I'm just arranging different things and looking at locally like tastings. Or Justin was looking at this was like a big deal a few years ago, but something popped up on his feed. Those dining in the dark. You know what I'm talking about?
No?
Where you go in and it's completely dark and they serve
That's
you
cool.
food and you sit and eat in the dark.
Oh, that's cool. What a
So I know that was like a
sensory
big thing. Yeah,
change.
like 10 years ago and there something popped up and there's a new place here. So even looking locally, right? And I think that's where you open up time to spontaneity, right? So there are those big, like the big adventures where you have to save, right? Like going to Paris or whatever. And then local adventures, but then also like you were shifting to, right, is those small, tiny moments. And we've talked so much about mindfulness. When you want to look at how do I find micro joys? How do I find joy in the everyday? Part of it is practicing mindfulness, right? Simple pleasures. I think about, I finally got the Vosges chocolate advent calendar that we did over the month of December.
Mhm.
And that is beautiful. It lights up, it plays music. So I would light it up, I'd play the music, we'd read. Even the kids got excited about it. And Giovanni, who doesn't like anything dark chocolate, even took a bite every day of it. And we all got it was actually quite a bit of chocolate for an advent calendar. There was like a lot of pieces
It's
that,
a couple pieces, and
yeah,
so if you
yeah.
have a you can it's definitely
We did.
shareable.
If Gabby had
Mhm.
friends over, we'd all just take a bite and share all the different chocolate and taste it. And so I didn't think, oh, I'm gonna have all
Hoard it
these
for
chocolates
yourself. Yeah.
myself. It was like, I'm just gonna have a little taste. And it describes it. Vosges is all about like global fusing the fusion of global flavors. And so I would really be mindful and taking that chocolate and thinking about the flavors that they're saying and what countries they're from. And so
Yes.
that's a way
Yes.
to be mindful and having pleasure, but also sunsets. And we're talking about good food, good meals, laughter. Those are ways that we can practice mindfulness and bring
Yeah.
everyday joy.
And creating rituals,
Hmm.
morning routines, evening tea, weekly gratitude, and journaling. We have a routine on Friday nights. We usually stay home and order in, which is
Yeah.
really nice. Sometimes we end up going out, but we have this routine for Brian and I, for example, that we spend this time together on Fridays. And that's just been a ritual. It's fun spending time with family or friends with rituals. I have a coffee ritual every Friday with some friends and having those small joys. And those are also moments of connection too, which is
Yeah.
really important to me.
Yeah.
But really thinking about, especially as we move into the new year and we talk about maybe new habits we want to start adopting and making some changes, this is a great time for you to create these joyful moments as new rituals within your
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. I think also we can seek out novelty, try a new hobby, explore a different neighborhood, listen to a new podcast. I'm trying to think of a hobby I would like to have. And I know this is like super lame and it's not a hobby, but after us talking so much, walking, getting back into figuring out incorporating walking into my daily routine. And I have not been hiking to the extent that I have been in the past, trying to get back into hiking. Any new
Oh,
hobbies you're interested in?
one that really comes to mind, and again, because we are in the dead of winter in Chicago, is
Yeah.
mixology. And
Oh,
so really lean into different ways to make some craft cocktails. Again, I'm talking about one. I'm not talking about two,
yes.
three, four, but
Yeah.
just a fun way to share a drink with a loved one or some friends and different ways because it's a very crafty thing too, the
Hmm.
accoutrement that you have to build into it. So that's definitely on my list this year in terms of small joys.
Yes. Do you know, this reminds me, sorry, totally random, but we watched the Christmas show Dear Santa with Jack Black, where he's the devil. It's like a really crazy, the kid is dyslexic and he accidentally writes to Satan. It's like a
That is
comedy
hilarious. I do not
movie. Okay, so there's
see.
this kid in it, and Dominic is that is the Shirley Temple King. Look it up. And this kid has hundreds of thousands of followers, and he tries all kinds of different drinks all over. And so 7 Up has a Shirley Temple, like in a can, and it says pomegranate and cherry. And you might be like, pomegranate? And he was like, to make maraschino cherries, they use pomegranate juice, which I did not know. And so his pomegranate is in a traditional Shirley Temple. And then he's tasting something and he'll be like, and so with the 7 Up one, he goes, it doesn't have an actual cherry in it. And the garnish is what makes it a Shirley Temple. And so it is. It's just like you can get into
You can lean into
anything,
anything.
like leaning
Yeah.
into, I'm going to try, like, okay, I love a dirty martini. This year, I'm going to look up the top 5 dirty martinis in Las Vegas. Like, we went to this wonderful restaurant that I cannot think of the name of, and it said that they have the best espresso martini in Las Vegas. And Justin and I
Wow.
love an espresso martini as is it aperitif? Is that after? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
After dinner. We love, I don't know if it's supposed to be after dinner, whatever. We like an espresso martini. So we're like, oh, we have to get this because we love espresso martinis and it says it's the best in Vegas. And so even doing that, like finding something that you like and then going around your area and being like, I'm going to try them and then say I am an expert in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's super fun. And again, it's a local thing. You can do it on your own, grab a friend, grab a spouse, grab a kid, even. Some of these cocktails that they're making, they don't have to have alcohol in them.
Yeah.
So for us, this is about, we really want to talk through the idea of living fully is about
Yeah.
balance, adventures, and
Yeah.
simple joys.
Mm.
And the simple joys and the adventures kind of fuel each other. And so think about that for you as we move into
Yeah.
the new year. How can you fuel your big adventures with your small joys and your small joys with your big adventures in a way that helps you continue to live your life to the fullest and really bring joy?
And how it like aligns with your values and how that reflects your authentic choices in living. Like we have our
Yes.
ideas, but you have different values, you have different lifestyles. So what does that look like for you?
Thanks for listening today. Don't forget to subscribe so you can hear our latest episodes as soon as they drop.
If you loved today's episode, share with a friend. Come visit us on Instagram or Facebook. Make sure to give us a follow. We have lots of giveaways. If you want to know more about Kelly and I, read our blogs, find more tips, tools, and resources, check that out at chasingbrighter.com. Thanks.